Hi guys, in today's video I'm gonna be just sharing my thoughts on what I think the game needs to work on and why SSO isn't dying, and just give a few examples of games that like fixed the game, like the company fixed the game and then they had like a huge comeback and they were really well received by the fans. So yeah, to start off with the two examples that I have of games that were really awful at the start. So the first one is No Man's Sky. Is an action adventure survival game and it was developed and published by the small studio Hello Games. It was released in 2016 and it was like a huge disappointment among fans because they promised a ton of features and then they didn't deliver on any of them, but they continued to update the game, and over 8 years now it's really loved by the fans. So the second example that I have is Final Fantasy XIV. So the first Final Fantasy XIV game was so bad that the development team like scrapped it and they redid the whole game within 2 years and then re-released it as A Realm Reborn, and now it's like really well received by the fans, and there's been multiple like add-ons. I don't know what they're called, but like they added more to the game. And yeah, so onto some things that I think they need to work on and change. So the first one being the current engine that they have. I know they mentioned this in the most recent blog post by the CEO, and it's just a really old game engine, and a lot of the players refer to it as like their spaghetti code because it's so old and so bad. Like it's bad because it's so old, and I think if they want to continue being one of the top horse games, they need to fix this, because I mean, there's gonna end up being another horse game that gives them competition and they're not gonna be able to compete with that other game because they won't be able to update the game because the game engine won't be able to handle newer updates. And they did say in the blog post that they're slowly gonna be improving it and that the new engine will be able to hold some of the newer features that they'll add. I'll like make sure to put up a screenshot just so you can like see it, or if you want to go read it, I'll leave the link in the description. And I think if they didn't update the game engine, that this would be like the death of the game, because I'm assuming that it would take a couple of years to like reprogram it and like get the game back up again. And fixing the engine would also fix a lot of the bugs in the game and just make the game run smoother. So the second thing that I think really needs to change is having a better customer support. I think it's like a really hit or miss situation depending on who you get from customer support. Like sometimes you have to go through 5 different people and it takes like a week to get your issue resolved. That was my experience when I had to change my email because Google deleted it, and I ended up talking to 5 different people, and I think that's really insane for a company that's been around for so long. And sometimes the employees who answer you don't even like read your entire email, or at least it feels that way, and they just read the first couple of sentences and then give you a response that's like a general issue response because they think your issue fits under it. And if this was happening for like a clothing company, they would have been out of business, because that's just not how you run customer service. So I think they really need to like do an entire overhaul of this current system and change it for one that would just make the communication between players and the support team easier and better. My example for this would be the game Horse. It's like another horse game, but it's like 2D images. I talked about it once in a video on my channel, but they have like a pretty good support team, at least from my interactions with them, and it usually takes like a day or 2 for them to get back to you and like fix your issue. And the page where you get your ticket and communicate with the employee is like really easy to navigate and super helpful. And you also get like an email version too if you want to communicate there, but like the entire web page for the customer support is like on the website, so you can always go back and like check to see if they've read it and like what their response is and when your ticket is closed. And for Star Stable, it's just through email, so you don't really know if your ticket is closed or if it's still ongoing, and I think it's just like really confusing. So I think if they like changed it so it's like on the website kind of similar from my experience with Horse, I felt more valued as a player compared to Star Stable. Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I think they just like really need to improve on this. So for the third thing that I think they really need to change is the marketing. I think the A/B testing for the Lifetime Star Rider that happened last year was like so awful. They really lost a lot of trust in players and potential players. I think a better use of this A/B testing would be different combo bundle sets that people could buy. So like kind of what you can buy now with like the 5,000 star coins, and then I think currently it's stable customizations, but instead they could have done like Lifetime Star Rider with 10,000 star coins, or Lifetime Star Rider with stable customizations and 5,000 star coins. And I also think fixing their ads overall, they follow this like weird trend for horse games. They like falsely advertise what the game is with like that save a pet or animations that aren't in the game. And I don't know, it's really confusing to me as a player to see Star Stable use those types of ads, because they don't like need to. They have a ton of content that they could make great ads, like the different festivals, and also just like a ton of player content that gets posted all the time that they could, I don't know, make a compilation and then like post it. And with the marketing, the identity of Star Stable feels all over the place. I talked about it in my UI video, and I think they just really need to focus on what they're going for and like stick with it and not change it, you know, just like stick with it. If you want to update it, and then just like leave it. And yeah, my last big issue with the game was making it a mobile version. There's two different sides of this, because I love that more people get to experience this game, but it's also like changing the PC version to be the exact same as the mobile version, I think was an awful choice. A game that does this well, it's like an older game that I used to play, but it's called World of Tanks, and they have two separate versions for mobile and PC, but everyone's on the same server and it uses the same account. So like the UI for the two different versions, like they're different, but I think Star Stable could do something similar where the mobile is like its own version and then the PC version is its own version, but they all are on the same server and use the same account. And also in the blog post, the CEO said that they really wanted to add new locations into the game, which I think is so exciting. So yeah, overall, the game isn't dying, and I think they're slowly starting to listen to the players with all like the surveys that they have, and just like with all the updates that they're slowly doing, and they're focusing on getting rid of cheating, which I think will be really great for the game. I think they really need to do something about their chat filter, and because it's awful right now. So that's all I have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Later.